Welcome back here at the Minnesota Micro Film Festival, Indigenous, all funded by Minnesota Humanities Center. I'm Blythe Whealy alongside these lovely two people, Dan Geiger and Stacey Thunder from the Jingle Dress. Thanks so much for being here, both of you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And Dan, we're going to start with you. You wore a lot of hats on this film. Can you tell me a little bit first, though, about this film, just so we can catch our audience up to speed?
Well, it's basically a family of four that's on a northern Minnesota reservation, and they decide to come to the Twin Cities to search for Uncle Norton, who passed away, and they don't know why, what happened to him, but also to just have more opportunities and see what it's like off the reservation. So.
Yeah. An important story to be shared. And Stacey, you played a part in that. You acted in this. Can you talk about what connected you with this film and what made you want to be a part of it?
Well, I liked the story. Like Dan said, it's about a Native family. And at the time, well, I mean, as a Native creative, actress, writer, producer, storyteller, I wanted to jump on this project because it gives Native people an opportunity to tell that story. So I just wanted to be part of it. And I connected with Elsie, who's the character I play, is the mother of the family. I'm a mom of four myself. And yeah, I just felt her struggles and her fears and her desires, her dreams in this character.
And you portrayed it all so well, so it makes sense that also being a mom, getting to use some of those feelings that you personally had.
She was very natural in that part.
Yeah.
She knew how to be a mom.
Yeah, I think that was it. I already knew how to be a mom, right?
That's too funny. And Dan, I touched on it a little bit, just about you wearing a lot of hats on this film. Can you talk about all the roles that you helped make this film possible?
Well, I did locations in the beginning. I storyboarded the film. I was the editor, the picture editor, the sound editor, associate producer, because I was involved right from the beginning. And then I played Uncle Norton because there's no acting involved, because he was already dead. So I could do that really well.
Yeah, that helps. That helps, doesn't it?
And, you know, just kind of post supervisor to make sure everything got done, finished right. So.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite one of those roles that you played on this film or did in this film?
Well, I enjoyed storyboarding it, but then you got to shoot it, so then everything's changed, different. I guess editing, post-production, that's my expertise. So.
And Stacey, what do you want the audience, whether they're Native, whether they're non-Native, to take away from this film?
I think just overall that we have a lot of stories to tell, Native people, and we're storytellers by nature. And, I hope that people enjoy the film. I hope that we can celebrate our Native culture during this Native American Heritage Month and every month after, and just support our filmmakers, because there are many of us who really just want to tell our stories.
And Dan, you touched on already working on a project with this director prior to hopping on this one. What was it like to be able to continue that relationship into this film?
Well, it was good because that was a documentary that we were working on together, and then this is, of course, scripted, and he wrote the script. And so, my favorite to work on is a narrative film. I hadn't worked on very many docs prior to that. So anyway, yeah, and this was a big project considering the money we had a huge cast, and we had 70 something speaking parts and a bunch of extras, maybe hundreds, and we had over 70 locations, so it was a pretty big project, and the money was tight.
Yeah, and you talked about scouting, so of course 70 locations, that's a lot.
I'd like to add that the majority of the cast is Native, is Indigenous.
Yeah, that's right.
And for me, I felt like it was one of my favorite sets, because we felt like one big family, always laughing. Late Steve Rivas was such a joy to be on set with. He was constantly laughing, and he had this Santa Claus kind of laugh. So every time he would ho ho ho, we would all laugh harder. And the other thing I remember about being on set is that because Dan has this jack of all trades kind of role in this film, that he had many nicknames. Dan,
Yeah.
whatever. I can't even recall which one, but we had so many nicknames for him.
Sandwich Dan, because I ate sandwiches all the time.
Yeah.
On the run, you know.
Yeah.
True, you just have to get the food in when you can.
Yeah, I didn't have time to sit down. So.
And for both of you, this film has played in front of audiences already. What was that experience like, and what were you most surprised by for the audience to react to it?
I don't know if I was surprised. I think I was more happy and just proud that we put this project together. And when I saw in the audience that there were a lot of Native faces in the crowd watching this and feeling the pride and joy that we felt making this film, that's what made me very, very happy.
Yeah, a lot of people saw it at the film. You know, we had like 3 or 4 screenings, and it was sold out almost every time. And it just seemed like a bunch of people really, you know, thirsty for some kind of Native American film, you know, locally made. Yeah. And, you know, and the family that's in the film is just kind of a middle-class family, basically, which is not how most natives are portrayed most of the time. So that was good.
Yeah. Always fun to have that perspective and getting to see it showed on the big screen. But for both of you, thank you so much for being here. A pleasure. The Jingle dress, and lovely having you here for Indigenous Month. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.